Joan, have I mentioned lately, especially after missing 18 minutes of commercials yesterday and being hauled down to the first floor corner office? I'm still employed, by the way.
Well.
How much for now. But how much I love my job.
Yeah.
And how much I love my coworkers. So the three other hosts are on a group text, right? And we like to just, tell each other who we have coming up so that we don't double book, whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
So Murphy Show has Tim Burchett this afternoon at 5:05.
Okay.
And Cameron Sexton at 6:05. But then Murphy says, after some stuff back and forth, and then Murphy says, and it's me, Chad, Murphy, and Chris Hand.
Okay.
Murphy says, I'm sick too, so there's that. I blame Dan.
Wait.
Chris Hand, 100% Dan. And then Chad says, I also blame Dan.
Whoa.
So you know what I told him?
What?
I told him that I'm going to go get the flu and lick the mic button.
Ew.
Was that too much? Oh, I'm sorry. Whatever. Hey, did you hear about Letitia James?
Wow. I saw her. I just saw her talking last night.
Hold on. We're just going to gloss over Dan's hygiene.
Listen.
Faux pas?
I'm going to get the flu first. I'm not just going to randomly, lick the mic button. I'm going to go,
You're going to go
get
visit
the flu.
a fish market in China?
Sure. I'll go get the flu, and then I'll lick the mic button. So that, listen, if they're going to blame me for making everybody sick, well then...
Can I just tell you, in the process, you're going to make yourself sick?
Joan, we all have sacrifices that we got to make.
He'd be under a blanket sniffling, going, worth it.
Okay, now, first of all, I want to make sure that everybody understands that it was Chris Hand
that got everyone sick.
That got everybody sick. Mm-hmm. Knock on wood, I'm still, okay.
That's why I appreciate this space between yous guys and me.
Oh, I know.
To use a Philly term.
Mm-hmm.
Yous guys.
I used to work with a guy that didn't wash his hands after the bathroom.
How do you know?
He was, we share a bathroom.
Casing him in the bathroom?
No, we share a bathroom. And you always knew the ones that, would or would not wash their hands. And he proudly didn't wash his hands.
Ew.
And I had to share the studio with him. Anyway.
Smelled like asparagus.
Anyway, so Letitia James, real quick, because this is not what I actually want to do.
Yeah.
But Letitia James, y'all know that she is being investigated, and I'm going from memory. She is being investigated for mortgage fraud because she bought a home, said that it was going to be a second residence, but then she ended up renting it out, right? And she gained $19,000 in better terms.
Yeah.
So you know what they found out now?
What's that?
Do you know who's living in the home? Apparently, it's her niece or some sort of a family member who's a fugitive.
What? A fugitive?
Yeah. Larceny and, weapons and all this stuff. They were living in the home.
Does she have an obligation?
So now Letitia James was harboring a fugitive, it would appear.
Oh, my goodness.
Is that not the craziest thing ever?
This gets, in the words of Chuck Schumer, this gets better every day.
Oh, it does. Let's see here. Letitia James' nieces, so I guess both of them,
yes,
are living in her Virginia property. Her tenants, Nakia is a fugitive. She hightailed out of North Carolina, evading arrest warrants, and moved into Aunt Letitia's bank fraud home. So there you go. So now the Attorney General of New York State is harboring a fugitive.
Aren't there charges to be brought against her for that?
You're darn right there would be.
Hello, Pam Bondi.
I mean, listen, if Donald Trump had a property and one of his wayward, whatevers was living in the home, you darn right well they would, charge him with a crime or whatever, harboring fugitives and the like.
There'd have to be wayward family members, though.
What?
You said harboring a wayward family member.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump doesn't have any.
You're right. Talk to Eric Trump. Yeah, I mean, you look at Donald, I don't want to do this, but you look at Donald Trump's kids. And Kai Trump, Joan?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
You're into golf.
Yeah.
Kai Trump is a golfer.
Yeah.
And so she's got a huge social media following. And, she's got her head screwed on straight.
She also has her own line of clothes.
What?
She does.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Yep.
And none of them are doing crack and sleeping with prostitutes.
Do you know what? I heard that Hunter Biden has his own line of cocaine coming out.
Signature cocaine.
Hunter Biden's signature cocaine. Oh, my God.
I left it in the West Wing in the White House edition.
Mm-hmm. So, you could have different blends. Like you could have the prostitute version. You could have the I left it in the White House version.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
Sleeping with my dead brother's wife version.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
He's got cocaine for like every occasion.
I threw my gun in the trash can version.
Oh, my gosh. Denying my daughter's existence version.
Yep. The trying to sell my dad's political influence version. I mean, we could just keep going on and on.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty funny, actually. By the way, just to go full circle.
Yeah.
I will not be going out and getting the flu and licking the mic button.
Okay, everyone was worried about you.
Were they worried? Were they thinking that Dan's going to do something crazy? No, not me. But that's why I actually like working here, because we can joke around with our coworkers.
2407 said Dan's going to randomly lick things in the office. That's a shocker.
You know what's so funny? If anybody actually knows me, they know that I'm not a random licker.
You're also not a hugger.
Nope, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
I'm not a hugger and I'm not a random licker. We should probably move on. Hey, can we talk about real quick Hakeem Jeffries?
If we must.
So there was a video, and I thought that it was. To be honest, I thought that this video was really funny. It is Hakeem Jeffries and Jeff Lawler, and they are. I don't know. Did you see this video, Joan? It feels like it was almost set up.
It does feel like that.
Where it's like, hey, everybody, I got a video here. So Hakeem Jeffries is, of course, the House Minority Leader, and you've got Jeff Lawler, who is a Republican. And this is a video. And so, by the way, what day is government shutdown? Well, are we on 10, 12, 13? What is it? I don't even care anymore. Do you know? Do you even know, Joan? I don't know, and I should know.
I don't know.
Okay, very good. I'm sure the super texters will tell us. But a couple of days ago, Hakeem Jeffries apparently said, hey, Lawler.
13.
Day 13. Meet me in the hallway. So Lawler shows up, and Hakeem's there, and they start jarring at each other. I'm going to play this audio because it is so delicious. It is so funny. Because, number one, Lawler kicks the living crap out of Hakeem Jeffries. And so Hakeem, tries to start going street. And Lawler is just like, you're making an idiot of yourself. Is it weird that all of the cameras were right there in the hallway? Because that's what happened. Lawler shows up, Hakeem walks out, got all of these cameras that are just waiting.
It's a clean extension for 1 year.
You voted for the one big ugly bill, correct?
I voted for a tax cut bill that gave the largest tax cut to Americans in history, including, by the way, the average New Yorker getting a $4,000 tax cut. Are you against that?
You're embarrassing yourself right now.
You want to cut the standard deduction in half?
The
Is that
largest
what you
cut
wanted
to
to do?
Medicaid in
No, we
American
rooted
history.
out
You voted
waste,
for that.
fraud.
And they're like, maybe a foot or two apart?
Yeah.
I mean, this has, I'm going to say this and it's going to make the wrestling people mad. This has all the reality of a couple of wrestlers getting ready for the big match. Does that make sense, Joan?
It makes absolute sense. I thought the same thing when I saw this, too.
Okay, so it's not just me.
Nope.
And it's like Hakeem is actually sort of, I don't know if he's trying to, not have a straight face, but he kind of looks like he's sort of, I don't know, he's sort of grinning a little bit. And I don't know if he's one of those really weird people that smiles when they're angry. Maybe that's Hakeem Jeffries.
Maybe.
It wouldn't surprise me because I think the dude's a freak.
And abuse, by the
You
way.
voted
Tom DiNapoli, the
for a
Democratic
permanent-
controller of New York,
Let me ask you a question.
pointed out that $1.2 billion
If you're
were
gonna-
wasted.
Listen, you're not going to talk. You're not going to talk to
wasted
me. You're not going to talk to.
You see how Hakeem's getting all street? You're not going to talk to me. I think Hakeem, all he's doing, Jeff Lawler, all that he's doing is speaking facts. And here's the funny thing, is that the Democrats have their opinion, right? The Democrats have their opinion on what the big, beautiful bill is, and they'll say, oh, these huge cuts to Medicare, right? And Jeff Lawler, the Republican out of New York, can say we're cleaning up all of the waste, fraud, and abuse. And I think the Democrats are dead wrong in how their messaging is. I believe more that it's smart to, clean up the waste, fraud, and abuse. But the bottom line is that they're arguing back and forth, and the whole thing just seems really silly.
Fraud
and talk
and
over
non-New
me
York residents
because you don't want to
paid.
hear what I have to say.
Oh, I'm listening.
So why
Go
don't you
ahead.
just keep your mouth shut?
Oh,
because you
is
showed
that-
up.
is that the way to
you
talk?
You showed up.
Yeah.
And so you voted for this one
I
big
signed
ugly
on
bill.
for this. You can extend it right
a
now.
permanent extension of massive tax breaks for your billionaire donors.
So 90%.
I love how Hakeem Jeffries says, for your billionaire friends. Can we talk about, because, the Democrats are famous, of course, for going after the Republicans for their billionaire friends. You want to talk about the billionaires that have donated to Hakeem Jeffries? George Soros, big shocker, has donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to Hakeem Jeffries. Pat Stryker, another billionaire apparently, has donated hundreds of thousands of dollars. Reid Hoffman, of course, billionaire donor, has donated millions of dollars to the Democrat Party. And as a matter of fact, Hakeem Jeffries, as the minority leader in the House, part of what he does is he has to go out and, start getting donors to send money in. As the minority leader, he has helped raise millions of dollars from millionaires and billionaires. We can talk about the individuals like I just did, or the companies. You got APAC, you got BlackRock, you got Apollo Global Management, and a whole lot of others. So today is, I guess, day 13 of the shutdown. The House has passed. By the way, do you want to hear the rest of this nonsense? Here's the rest of the nonsense between Hakeem Jeffries and Jeff Lawler.
Kind of Americans.
So they can get a permanent extension.
90% of Americans take the standard
Americans
deduction.
can? Is that right?
90% of Americans take the standard deduction.
Is that right?
If you had your way, the standard deduction would have been cut in half. That
No
would have been a
one-
massive tax increase
no one-
on Americans all across the country.
You're
You support
here,
that?
unfortunately.
You're against
to do
lifting the
the
cap on
bidding
salt?
of your billionaire donors.
The
That's
billionaire
unfortunate.
donors lifting the
That's
cap on
correct.
salt. We put a income cap in place.
Why are you here right now?
An income
Where the
cap.
re- where the rest
Didn't
of
you
your
want all
Republican
Republicans
colleagues?
to be here?
Where
I'm
the rest?
here.
Where are the rest of your
You
Republican
wanted
colleagues?
Republicans to
So there you go. I don't know. What do you think,
Hakeem
Joan? Real
Jeffries-
or fake?
Well, if it was real, no, if it was fake, I think Hakeem Jeffries would have come to the table with more
With more than that
facts,
he did.
information.
Well, he's not
All he
very
did was get
smart.
in the face of, I don't know who that lawmaker
Jeff Lawler.
is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great New York conservative.
he sounds like your average college campus liberal.
Yeah.
You and your billionaire donors.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like this is one of the guys that would, try to go up against Charlie Kirk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Kirk, could have have them, crying in a corner within 30 seconds.
Well, except he sounds like he's about to sell me New York's worst hot dog.
Hakeem Jeffries,
Yeah.
dirty water dogs. Yep, that's exactly right. No, that's what they call them in New York, dirty water dogs.
Oh, for real?
That they literally, the guys on the stands on the street where they've got hot dogs boiling in the thing. Yeah, they call them dirty water dogs in New York. They are.
Sounds like a street gang.
Yeah. Anyway, House has passed the CR. The Democrats in the Senate refusing to pass this thing. Now, people keep asking me why. If Republicans hold the majority in the Senate, are the Democrats to blame? Why are the Democrats to blame if it's the Republicans have that majority in the Senate? Well, it's because to pass the continuing resolution, you need to be able to clear that 60-vote filibuster threshold. Republicans have, I think last time I checked, is it 53-47? I think it's a 53-47 lead in the Senate. All Republicans voted to keep the government open. Every Democrat voted to keep it closed. So that's what the Democrats, I think there's another vote today, as a matter of fact.
Tonight.
Democrats, okay, tonight. So Democrats are literally voting to keep the government closed. Every Republican has voted to keep the government or to reopen the government. And the bottom line is, and it's all about this filibuster threshold, but every Democrat has voted to keep it closed. Republicans, all they want to do is negotiate. It's all they want to do. Congressman Scott Desjardins was on with the Murphy Show yesterday, and it's all about health care.
Yeah, they're going to vote again. I don't really get what the stalemate's all about. I mean, I know that the Democrats think they're winning with this health care issue, but what's ironic about it was, this was their thing. They put this in the Inflation Reduction Act as a temporary measure set to expire in 2025. Mm-hmm. They knew in 2022 that they could extend it if they wanted to, but I talked to Brett Guthrie, who's from Kentucky, chair of the Energy and Commerce, and he said they had all intentions in using that money when it expired for some of their other priorities, Green New Deal, whatever you name it.
Oh, interesting. So to hear Scott Desjardins say it, the Democrats were going to get this money and use it for extremely partisan stuff. Now, these folks that have been getting health care subsidies, the subsidies went in during COVID. Now they expire. And you just heard the congressman say Democrats want to turn around and use that money for other things. The Democrats, if I'm not mistaken, want to claw back over $1 trillion in Republican cuts. So clearly we need to deal with health care, but having the government closed is not the way to do it.
And everyone I talked to, their health care has doubled. And so the people who are getting these subsidies or tax breaks, and I'm grateful that they were able to get them, but they knew that it was a temporary measure and they were set to expire, and now they're going to go back to paying what they were. We're not like doubling people's health insurance. I wish I could go back to where mine was, and you probably do too. But, that's what they're hanging their hat on right now, is they think they're winning this messaging.
And it's not. And by the way,
you're not going to talk to me.
Hakeem and Lawler, they're still arguing. It's been days now, Joan. They're still standing there with all the, still going. Just like little Energizer bunnies that they are. Well, they have nothing else to do, really.
For this one
They
big
have to
ugly
argue what they're doing. I thought that was funny, but whatever. I went all the way. I just circled the whole bit around all the way to the start again. That's what I did. All right, 7:25. Nashville's winning. You know what? Forget it then. We'll just do the tease.
Fine.
Joan. This better be a good one, Joan. What's coming up?
We'll tell you what happened that got AES cited for safety concerns prior to last week's explosion. Also, a monumental shakeup for the Titans. Those stories coming up here at 7:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'd say that shakeup, Joan, was like a Titanic.
It was a Titanic shakeup.
Well, let's face it.
Why didn't I say that?
The Titans are Titanicking this year. Sorry.
Cheap radio sound effects.
What are they, 1-5? Is that what they are? Titans 1-5?
Yes, is that right?
1-5? Okay.
1-5.
So just so you know, behind the scenes, Joan, Sam has been doing nothing but talking about how excited he is that the coach of the Titans was fired. He's just yammering all day, all day in the morning. He alerted me to it
because it's not on my radar.
Yep. It's none of my caring. George W. Bush, they said, what was it? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Is that what?
It's, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't get fooled again.
Apparently, so I set up another interview with Chris Davis that apparently is not going to happen. It happened yesterday, too. But can I just be honest? He's got a million things going on. I really wanted to, get his intel from, Ground Zero here in Tennessee, Bucksnort, Tennessee. He is, of course, Chris Davis, the sheriff in Humphreys County. But in fairness, he's been all over the place. But he and we spoke yesterday. But it's okay. It's okay. If he wants to call in, he's got our number because we are. I think at this point, a restraining order may be appropriate.
One against you.
Yeah,
right?
one against me, sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I did admit that I lick things in the office. Now, I was just so people know, I was just kidding. Like people are saying, oh, gosh, Dan, you're so gross. How is it people don't know that I'm kidding?
They do.
Like, honestly, do you think, really?
Yeah.
Well, not everybody's on our YouTube or Twitch, Facebook, X live stream, so they don't see the expression on your face. They hear the seriousness in your voice.
I almost never have a seriousness to my voice. I've always got a humorous lilt to my voice. Do I not? Unless I get good mad.
It's a great word.
Like people liked our, what would Hunter Biden's cocaine line of designer cocaine be called? Biden's blow. Biden's blow. Yeah, that was one. People seem to really like that. So
I think Joan won that with the I threw my gun in the trash.
You know what? We did. We had a lot of good ones.
We did.
But Jones was good.
It's the hit list, Just keeps on going and going.
That's exactly right. All right, well, I'm going to move on. Scott Jennings, who I really like a lot, of course, and most people do. We're talking earlier about the Democrats and the ridiculousness of the Democrats. By the way, coming up at 8:05, Republican nominee for the 7th, Matt Van Epps, he's scheduled for 8:05. How much you want to bet, Joan, that this is going to be like my second interview is going to go south?
I don't think so.
Do you know, were you working that one day, Joan? I had 3 interviews that did not show up in one day. That was awful. But it actually led to a lot of hilarity, so whatever. Anyway, Scott Jennings, real quick, and he's going somewhere with this. So we're talking about, the big, beautiful bill and Lawler versus Hakeem Jeffries and that whole nonsense. Well, I really liked what Scott Jennings had to say, and I've got some video here. This is Jennings talking about, and I was talking about Congressman, I guess his name is Mike Lawler. I called him Jeff, and I don't know why I called him Jeff, but it's Mike Lawler and Hakeem Jeffries arguing back and forth about what is going on. And I pointed out the lies of Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats where they keep talking about, by the way, you said today was day 13 of the stalemate.
That's correct.
Are you sure? Because CNN's saying 14 days.
They are.
Fake news.
You're fake news.
Fake news.
Wow. I'm taking it from ABC, so.
Fake news ABC.
Day of the shutdown is it?
Doesn't matter. No, you know what? Nobody's really paying
AI
attention to this.
Generating an answer for me.
I guess it depends on whether or not you count the first day.
Okay.
Right?
So, yeah.
That's
13
what it is.
was Monday. Today is 14. So, okay. I've been doing fake news. I confess. All right?
Clip that. I've been doing fake news. I confess. You got to clip that.
No.
I purposely did not speak so that we could get that clean.
Thanks, Dan.
You've also never crashed while farting. So this is Scott Jennings.
If I can't trust you not to put a boy in a teenage girl's locker room, how will I ever listen to your plan for taxes and the economy?
Right.
I will not, because I've already concluded you're a lunatic.
I mean, listen, tell me where Scott Jennings is wrong. Tell me where Scott Jennings is wrong when he says,
if I can't trust you not to put a boy in a teenage girl's locker room, how will I ever listen to your plan for taxes and the economy?
Right.
I will not, because I've already concluded you're a lunatic.
we were talking earlier about this protest in Portland with all the naked bike riders. And you know what's so funny? Apparently this is a yearly event in Portland, Oregon, where everybody rides their bike naked. Did you know that, Joan?
What a nice place Portland sounds like. No, I don't
understand. I don't understand why. Like, what purpose are they serving? So apparently, they've had naked bike rides to protest ICE in Portland, and apparently they have naked bike rides just because. And if that's what you want to do, and you're not going to get arrested in Portland, whatever. But think about what Scott Jennings is saying. The Democrats, they're very nonsensical in not only their behavior with the naked bike rides, but also in their policies. I mean, he just touched on the one, right? Men in girls' bathrooms. But they're also pro-violence. Tell me they're not. Somebody tell me that the Democrats are not pro-violence. All you got to do is look at any major Democrat city. All right, let's just look at Memphis. I mean, Memphis is easy to pick on because it's a complete and utter train wreck. But look at Memphis, or look at Los Angeles, look at Chicago, whatever. You can't tell me that the Democrats are not pro-violence if they are fighting law enforcement agents coming in to stop the violence, right? Duh. They're anti-police. Obviously, we know that they are all about defunding the police, which here's what's incredible. Way back when the defund the police movement, I was here, I was in this seat, and talking about the Democrats and their defund the police movement, and they were getting absolutely obliterated in the polling. And finally, somebody was like, this may not be a good idea. And they tried to change course. Well, the damage had already been done. But here's the amazing thing. They're doing it again. Because to me, anti-ICE is just another version of, defund the police. They're pro-censorship. They're pro-open borders. They're pro, of course, the Biden cover-up. Then, yeah, they're pro-crime, obviously. And so when Scott Jennings, when he says,
if I can't trust you not to put a boy in a teenage girl's locker room, how will I ever listen to your plan for taxes and the economy?
Right.
I will not, because I've already concluded you're a lunatic.
He's right. And you know what? I would like to see any Democrat out there debate Scott Jennings on that issue. It is interesting. J.D. Vance, and we didn't have a lot of time to cover this yesterday because of all of the Donald Trump speeches, the Benjamin Netanyahu speeches that we were covering yesterday. But J.D. Vance, who they're now online affectionately starting to call 48, I'm just going to say, don't count your chickens before they're hatched. I firmly believe that J.D. Vance will be 48, but let's not get too confident. Let's not get too cocky, right? You got to make sure you get out and vote, whether we're talking about the next presidential election, the midterm elections. We've got this special election with Matt Van Epps versus Afton Bain. He's going to be joining us at 8:05. Got to make sure that even though he won by a wide margin, you've got to make sure that you get out and vote in the general special election. So, I'm saying, if you want to call J.D. Vance 48, knock yourselves out. But we got a long, and I mean a long way to go for that. But he was making the rounds over the weekend. I mean, he was on Meet the Depressed, as Al Rushbo used to say. He was on, I don't know, a number of different shows. I think he was on Newsmax as well. And Trump was out of town. Most of the Trump administration were either in Israel or on their way to Israel. So it was up to J.D. Vance to carry on the torch. And he was talking about J.D. Prickster, where he's JB, of course, is doing everything that he possibly can to battle law enforcement coming into Chicago. And this is what he said.
Governor Pritzker will talk a lot, I'm sure, about how bad Donald Trump is, about how bad I am, and about how bad the administration is. He is the governor of a state that where its biggest city has murder rates that rival the most violent places in the third world, George. Why is he so mad at Donald Trump for trying to keep Chicagoans safe? He should be mad at the criminals that he has failed to keep at bay. We're trying to help him. And we're trying to help the residents of his biggest city. I wish that he would let us, because he certainly isn't doing the job himself.
Doesn't he just have a great point? Like, why are you mad at the people that are trying to stop the crime in your city? And so now you've got everybody, and it's almost like people are missing the bigger, broader point. The bigger, broader point is that the Trump administration, regardless as to the level of crime, the Trump administration is clearly trying to simply save lives. And so right on cue, J.B. Prickster comes on with that other prick, George Stephanopoulos, and says this.
You just heard Vice President Vance. He didn't directly answer whether he agreed with President Trump that you've committed a crime, but what he did say was it seems pretty criminal to him, your behavior. What's your response?
And by the way, the question was based on Donald Trump saying that J.B. Pritzker had committed a crime, and J.D. Vance, all the JBs, it's driving me nuts. But Prickster says, "Oh yeah, they're going to say that I committed a crime, but I haven't." And even J.D. Vance wouldn't go that far to say that the Illinois governor had committed a crime.
Well, you just heard a tidal wave of lies from the Vice President of the United States. It's a bit shocking, and you heard over and over again him just making things up on national television with you. There's a reason why the judge here in federal court said that the administration lacks credibility. And
yeah, it's because that judge was appointed. I want to say it was a Biden appointee, but we're seeing that all across the country, where you have these Democrat judges who just want to stick their crooked little fingers into the eyes of the Republicans, who are simply trying to save lives. Obviously,
why even the Nobel Prize Committee chair said that the administration lacks integrity. This administration, led by a 34-time convicted felon,
I mean, listen to all this,
is threatening to jail people that are
the greatest hits of stupidity opponents from the Democrats.
And making things up to go after people. We're seeing it day in and day out. And the fact that he's made a threat against me, I'm not afraid. I'm going to stand up for the people of my state. Mm-hmm. And
he said, it's interesting. He says that he's going to stand up for the people in his state. Okay, well, you're standing up for the criminals, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point. He's standing up for the criminals, and that is exactly what Joe Biden did.
Well, and the next cannoli to roll off the table.
I try really hard, Sam. Joan, back me up on this. Mm-hmm. I try really hard to take the quality of conversation on this show to a higher level.
Yes.
I know that I called George Stephanopoulos the P word not 30 seconds ago, which I actually thought was pretty good. How I wove that in. Did you hear that, Joan?
It stung.
That was Marconi winning.
Yeah, when it happened, I said to Sam in the talkback, wait, did he just say that?
I sure may. I'll deny it if the lawyers...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sam, make sure you erase those tapes.